Hello everyone and welcome back to Blitz Blocks. Today we are doing the ultimate vehicle tier list for Wingsuit War Tycoon on Roblox. I am going to rank every single vehicle in the game from the absolute worst to the very best based on my own personal experience. Now before we get into it, there is one very important thing I need to mention. Most of the better vehicles in this game, including helicopters, planes, tanks, and more, all require a Rebirth to unlock. So if you are a brand new player and you have not reached Rebirth yet, do not worry, keep grinding, get that Rebirth, and all of these amazing vehicles will become available to you. With that said, let us get started. At the very bottom of our tier list, we have D tier, and unfortunately there are 4 vehicles sitting here. The Gurkha, the Humvee, the Jeep, and the Buggy. And I am going to be completely honest with you. All 4 of these vehicles are pretty useless in Wingsuit War Tycoon. Let us start with the Gurkha. On paper it sounds decent because it is an armored vehicle. But the reality is that it gets one shot by almost everything in the game. Yes, you heard that correctly. One single RPG is enough to completely destroy it for an armored vehicle that is absolutely embarrassing. On top of that, the gun cannot even be controlled by the driver, which makes it nearly impossible to use effectively in combat. The Humvee, the Jeep, and the Buggy are all in the same boat. They are fast and cheap, which makes them tempting for new players, but they offer almost no protection and very limited firepower. The moment you get into a real fight with any of these vehicles, you will realize very quickly that they simply cannot compete with anything stronger. The only situation where D-tier vehicles are acceptable is right at the very beginning of the game when you need something to get around the map quickly and you cannot afford anything better yet, but replace them as soon as you possibly can. D-tier vehicles will let you down every single time. Moving up to C-tier, we have the helicopter. Now, the helicopter is actually a really nice vehicle in certain situations, which is why it sits above D-tier. It has lock-on missiles, machine guns, and it is one of the vehicles in the game that can collect oil barrels, which are a very valuable resource. Flying around the map in a helicopter and collecting resources is genuinely satisfying and useful for building up your base. However, the helicopter has one very significant weakness that holds it back from being a truly great vehicle. It is not very good in air-to-air combat. When you go up against a plane and a helicopter, you are going to struggle. Planes are faster, more agile, and hit harder in a direct aerial confrontation. The helicopter simply cannot keep up in a dogfight situation. The helicopter is also quite difficult to control for new players. It takes a lot of practice before you feel comfortable flying it smoothly and efficiently. Until you master the controls, you will find yourself crashing and repositioning more than actually doing useful things. C tier is a fair placement for the helicopter. It is nice. It has its uses, but it is held back by its weaknesses in air-to-air combat and its steep learning curve. In B tier, we have 2 very interesting and unique vehicles, the air defense trucks and the flying car. Both of these are solid choices in the right situations and are definitely worth using if you have access to them. The air defense trucks are exactly what they sound like. They are ground vehicles equipped with weapons specifically designed to take down aerial threats. If there are a lot of planes and helicopters causing chaos on the server, an air defense truck becomes incredibly valuable. You can set it up near your base and use it to protect yourself from aerial attacks that would otherwise be very difficult to deal with on the ground. And then we have the flying car. Now this vehicle is genuinely one of the most unique and fun things in all of War Tycoon. If you have ever seen the Back to the Future films, you will immediately recognize where the inspiration for this vehicle came from. It is a car that can fly around the map, which is as entertaining as it sounds. The flying car is not the most powerful vehicle in the game, but it is incredibly fun to use and gives you a mobility advantage that most other ground vehicles simply do not have. Being able to switch between driving on the ground and flying through the air makes it very versatile and unpredictable for enemies to deal with. B tier is a well-deserved spot for both of these vehicles. Welcome to A tier, where things get seriously impressive. Sitting here, we have the tank, the APC, and their similar ground vehicle friends. And honestly, these vehicles are an absolute pleasure to use in War Tycoon, especially when it comes to raiding other players' bases. Let us talk about the tank first. The tank is strong, it is fast for its size, and it is surprisingly easy to use compared to aerial vehicles. You do not need to master complicated flight controls. You simply point it at your enemy and fire. The firepower is devastating, and the armor can absorb a significant amount of damage before before going down. When it comes to ground combat and raiding bases, the tank is one of the best options available to you. The APC is equally impressive in its own right. It has guided missiles, which means your shots actively track and follow targets, making them incredibly difficult to dodge. It is also faster than the tank, which gives it an edge in terms of mobility and repositioning during a fight. The APC is massively underrated by most players and deserves a lot more respect than it typically gets. Together, the tank, APC, and their ground vehicle companions form the backbone of any serious ground assault in War Tycoon. If you want to raid bases, dominate ground combat, and make other players genuinely nervous when they see you coming, a tier ground vehicles are exactly what you need. And finally, at the very top of our tier list, sitting comfortably in S tier, we have the planes. And if you have spent any time doing dogfights and air-to-air battles in War Tycoon, you will completely understand why planes deserve this spot. Planes are simply the most fun and most exciting vehicles in the entire game. The moment you take off and get into an aerial battle with another player, the game transforms into something completely different. Dodging enemy fire, chasing down opponents through the sky, lining up the perfect shot in a high-speed dogfight. There is genuinely nothing else in War Tycoon that comes close to that feeling. On top of being incredibly fun, planes are also genuinely powerful. They have firepower that matches ground vehicles. They are fast enough to outrun almost anything else in the game, and they give you a strategic advantage by allowing you to attack from above where ground-based defenses struggle to reach you effectively. Planes do require a rebirth to unlock, which means you need to put serious time into the game before you can access them, but every single minute of that grind is worth it the moment you get into your first proper dogfight. The sky belongs to plane pilots in Wingsuit War Tycoon, and once you experience that level of gameplay, you will never want to go back to ground vehicles again. S tier is the only appropriate place for planes. They are the kings of the sky, the most exciting vehicles in the game, and the ultimate reward for dedicated players. Get them, master them, and dominate every aerial battle you get into. And there you have it, and here's the tier list for all the vehicles. As you can see on screen, D tier is home to the Gurkha, Humvee, Jeep, and Buggy. All pretty useless if we are being honest. The helicopter sits in C tier, nice, but struggles in air-to-air battles. B tier goes to the air defense trucks and the flying car, both solid and fun choices. A tier belongs to the tank, APC, and their ground vehicle friends who are absolutely brilliant for raiding bases. And sitting alone at the very top in S tier are the planes, the most fun and most exciting vehicles in all of War Tycoon. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to Blitzblocks for more War Tycoon and Roblox content every single week. Drop a comment below and tell